Imagine the owl borrowing acorns from future bears to buy honey today. Sounds harmless, right? Well, what if the future bears show up and there's nothing left but sticky paws? Today, we're talking about fiscal policy and national debt. Basically, how the owl manages acorns and why deficits matter. By the end, you'll know the one big reason why borrowing too many acorns can cause headaches for every bear in the forest. Most bears think debt is debt. You borrow acorns, you pay them back later. Easy. But here's the confusion. When the owl borrows acorns, he's not just borrowing from one bear, he's borrowing from all bears, including future cubs who haven't even sniffed their first honey pot yet. That's why most bears get this wrong. They think deficits are just numbers on a scroll, when really they're promises that future bears have to keep. Wait, so the owl is basically writing IOUs with honey stains on them? Yep. Fiscal policy is just the owl deciding how many acorns to collect in taxes and how many to spend on honey, beehives, or bear schools.
When spending is bigger than taxes, that's a deficit. Think of it like a bear eating more honey than he has acorns to pay for. He borrows from his buddy fox. But here's the breadcrumb. What happens when this keeps happening year after year? Stick around to see how deficits pile up like acorn mountains. Deficits don't vanish, they stack into the national debt. Imagine the owl building a giant tower of borrowed acorns. At first it looks fine, sturdy, impressive. But the taller it gets, the wobblier it becomes, and every bear in the forest is standing underneath it. So what does this mean for your honey jar? Here's the personal part. When the owl borrows too many acorns, he might raise taxes later or print more acorns, which makes each acorn worth less. Translation, your honey costs more, your savings buy less, and suddenly you're working harder for the same sticky spoonful.
Next, I'll show you the mistakes most bears make when thinking about debt. Mistake number 1. Bears think deficits don't matter because future bears will handle it. Wrong. Future bears are you in 5 winters. Mistake number 2. Bears assume the owl can just print infinite acorns. Sure, but then honey prices skyrocket and suddenly one spoon costs a whole pawful of acorns. Mistake number 3. Bears confuse household debt with national debt. A house shop owner can go bankrupt. The owl can't, but he can make every bear poorer if he mismanages the owl there. Here's the mind-blown moment. Not all deficits are bad. If the owl borrows acorns to build bear schools or bee factories, future bears might actually earn more honey than the debt costs. So deficits can be wise investments, but only if the honey harvest grows faster than the acorn tower. So here's the takeaway. Deficits matter because they're promises future bears have to keep, and too many promises can crush the forest economy. Subscribe now before the owl taxes your honey spoon.